Okay, I haven't showered yet. That's why my hair is covered up because I got alfalfa sprouts with the short dew. So, um, yeah. Anyway, okay. So that amazing thing with my brother. Oh my goodness. Oh, so that just I'm just flying so high because of that. Um, so I wanted to share. Um, my twin's been coming into my dream time a lot. There was a flash of him dancing and laughing and smiling. That was probably, I don't know, um, a week ago or something. And then, not last night, but I believe the night before, can't really remember, but I know he was there and present and interacting, and I think like my dad, and it was just like family and more people around and stuff, and he was just like there and present, and but there wasn't like any kind of direct eye contact or anything. But so, um, and of course it's always right at the end, so I remember it, and it was so it was like we were in my house or something. Okay, it was like our house. It was just me and him. Um, I felt like there was a guide there though, like they wanted me to see something. So I felt like another presence there of just like pay attention, this is important because um it's pretty subtle, you know. But God's always there. So it's like that's that divine presence that I always sense there. So he was like it's like I came over to him. I was like making dinner, whatever, and it's all telepathic, okay? There's no like sometimes there's actual words that I hear, but other things are just more like instant. And then there's like just a moment of like eye contact that says everything that you know. You can feel the energetic. Okay, so sometimes there's not necessarily specific words. That's usually when I get a message from God. But when it's like with my twin, sometimes he'll say words, okay, if it's a very specific thing. But sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's just like telepathic, energetic. You just read their facial expression and body language and stuff. And so, um, and it felt like I was cooking dinner because it didn't seem like there was. It seemed like there was like a big sliding glass door and windows and stuff, but not like light coming in. So it was evening time. Um, so I felt like it was like I was making a dinner for us. So I come over to where he is. Like there's like a, I don't know, like a banister, whatever, like a bar type of um, divider kind of. It seemed like I was coming from the kitchen and he was kind of like on the other side of this little divider where there was like a computer desk and a computer. Like he was just getting off the computer, like just getting done doing some work or whatever he was doing on the computer. So he was like just rising up from his seat and he looked over at me and eye contact and saw his beautiful blue eyes. And it was like this it was like a puppy dog kind of a look. And then like my reaction, what I felt was suspicion and intimidation. um and then as soon as I did that, instead of like receiving him, because he just had these puppy dog eyes, like um you know, like you've been gone all day and you just get home and it's been raining, your dog's been out in the backyard and it's just waiting to come in, and you finally come to the door to, and you know they have these puppy dog eyes like, oh my god, I've been waiting all day, can I finally come in, oh my god, it's freezing out here, home, yes, you're home, I love, oh yay. So it was kind of like, but it wasn't like him jumping all around and wagging his tail or anything. It was so we were like face to face, okay, and I see these puppy dog eyes, and what I get is suspicion and intimidation. Even though he has like a beautiful look on his face, it was just kind of like Like, you know, just like, can I come in? I miss you. I love you so much. Can I come in? Um, and so I'm always getting like this. It's like he's coming towards me, and then I block. But we're mirroring each other. Okay, so, and we have like a 12-year. I was actually counting the months. It's like 12 years, 7 months, which is interesting because my brother is 2 years, 7 months older than me, and then my twin is born on the 27th of the month that he's born, and baby daddy, who's 6 months prior to that, so the perfect polarity opposite. And he's the same sign as my twin's moon sign. He was also born on the 27th, okay, February, and then August is 6 months, but okay. So 27. And so I think it's kind of stemming from this age difference thing, and not a lot of twin flames, but the ones that I've seen that have a bigger age difference, it tends to be the woman who's older and the younger man, which, it could be I'm just saying, I've seen a few twin flame couples and who are together, and the woman is older. So this is a dynamic that I share as well, of like suspicion and intimidation, and because we're mirroring each other, okay, we're twins, so we're both feeling this, but maybe because of our life experience, we connected to different things that expresses itself differently. So for me, okay, so even with the age difference, okay, so he's looking at it from a perspective, suspicion, intimidation, because he's younger and I'm older. Maybe, he looks at me as someone who is very highly intelligent, spiritual, all this, and we're mirrors, so okay, he is too. And having a twin who's so dynamic and attractive, even though I don't feel so attractive lately, but I'm feeling better though. It's just when I have a rash and stuff, I feel like I don't really care about short hair and all that, bald or whatever. It's just like I don't want a rash, and I'm really just the itching is So the intimidation of how dynamic a twin is, because you are that too, okay? So there's no reason to be intimidated by that. And then the suspicion is, and it's all based on fear. So really, what is the fear that's linked to the suspicion and the intimidation? What it is that, like, because we shine so brightly, we attract a lot, and that could also attract, like, vampirical energies and stuff. And so it can create a lot of drama, and we don't want to deal with that anymore, right? So you can be suspicious because of your twin being so dynamic, because that dynamic is what we are. We can suspect that that's going to lead to something that's going to bring negativity and drama into our life. Because really what the fear is that they're going to get attention, or we're going to get attention, and then our twin, or we're going to feel this way about our twin, and vice versa, and we will, because we mirror. We're going to feel like, we're going to be afraid that they're going to get caught up in ego, and really, like, be in that ego of, like, yeah, right, yeah, give me all that attention, I love it. But if we put yourself in your twin's position and think of how, okay, if your twin's suspicious of you, you're like, there's no reason to be suspicious. I love you. I'm all down. Like, I'm intimidated by you. They're thinking the same thing, right? So it's like this loop of that's why we just need to release it. There's no reason to be suspicious. There's no reason to be intimidated. Your twin is, I'm sorry, but fucking just hot for you, okay? As much as you feel that way, that's how they feel about you. As much as You are finding all these reasons to be intimidated because they're younger, they're hot, they're so, oh God, everybody just they have that energy that attracts. Okay, so do you. And you don't want them to feel intimidated and suspicious. You want them to release that so they can just feel the love, right? So that's what we need to do too. We're mirroring each other. Okay, remember that. So yeah, because in my dream, as soon as I saw his puppy dog eyes, I felt, the two things I felt was intimidation and suspicion. And it was like instant, poof, he was gone. So it's like, as soon as we reject ourselves, we reject our twin, and poof, they're gone. Because poof, we're gone too. We're out of our heart space. Okay, so poof, we're gone. So I really wanted to examine why I was that suspicion. It's not that I don't trust, because I know where I put my trust and faith in God. So it's more of like a suspicion, like I just know this is going to happen again. It's that, but that's the ego, and that's the devil. Just like when I would think about my brother, like, oh, he's been on the street so long, he's been addicted for so long, and all this irreparable damage. Okay, no, God is the healer, the emptier, the restorer, the equalizer, the repairer of everything. So, you know, when I would pray for my brother, the devil would try to creep in and say, you're wasting your time. Nothing's going to change. He's been on the street longer than he's not been on the street. He's never going to get off drugs. Are you kidding me? He's going to end up just like your sister. Just prepare yourself for that. And mentally, it makes sense. Like, yeah, I should just let go, disconnect, give up hope. It's too painful. It's too... It actually makes the pain even worse, because then you're blocking it with all this negative stuff, okay? So by keeping my faith alive, keeping hope alive, continuing to pray for my brother and rebuke the devil when he tries to use my... You know, because it seems logical, right? The ego seems so logical. Yeah, just cut them off, write them off. You got to cut that out of your life, and da-da-da-da-da. But see, because it seems so logical and sensible, we don't really realize the energy behind it. And it's demonic, okay? If it's anything other than love, then it's a lie, okay? And it's from the devil. If it's not truth, okay, truth is from God, all right? And anything that's not truth is from somewhere else. And we can say, yes, it's all God and it's all one and they have their purpose. Yeah, but just in we still are in the 3D too. Okay, so like I said, there's unity consciousness and duality consciousness existing, okay, coexisting at the same time. Same place, same everywhere, okay? It's just we can pick and choose, okay? We can be in duality consciousness, okay? Which takes us out of our heart space, or we can stay in heart space, you know, singularity, unity consciousness. So you have the choice to pick between. You can oscillate back and forth all you want between that, you know what I mean? They both exist. So and we kind of do have to engage in a 3D dualistic kind of a way sometimes, just in order to relay information and stuff, because there's so many still, the masses are in, you know, there's still a lot of awakening that needs to take place. So so yeah, any twins that are dealing with that dynamic, especially if you're the older one and you're the female in the well, it could be, you know, two females or two males, but say you're the one who's, you know, I would say at least 10 years older or more, because that takes you out of the same, like, you know, one will be in their 30s and one will be in their 40s. If there was any less than a 10-year difference, you could still both be in your 30s, and it's not, you know, or, you know, 35 and 45. I don't know. It's still, that's, I'm saying if you're the female and you have a male who's younger than you, there isn't another like kind of a dynamic to that, because there's a lot of social programming and templating and stuff that goes along with an older woman being with a younger man. Okay, she's a cougar, she's thirsty, but we just get indoctrinated and bombarded with, look at movies of like men being with underage women and old men. Look at Harvey Keitel and Jodie Foster, and I mean, come on. So that's just supposed to be a given. That's just the way it is. So when we see something the opposite of an older woman, we don't understand it, so we're going to judge it, right? Which is normal. That's what we do. My son's irritated for some reason. I got to go check on him. I got to go check on him. That's my dad's best friend. So I feel like they're coming in, and we have a last little bit of, you know, like, God's presenting something. Are you going to be triggered by this? Excuse me. Are you going to push your twin away? Are you going to go back into the old templating of separatist consciousness, separation consciousness? Forget that you guys are mirrors, that you're the same soul, okay? So it's very important when something comes up, whatever you're feeling, your twin is feeling, but it may stem from, okay, the situation might look different, okay? They're a different gender, or the age is different, or they're from a different country, or what. So it's going to play itself out differently. That's where discernment comes into play. And so as these feelings, especially if you share this dynamic where you're an older woman with a younger man, okay, there's going to be suspicion and intimidation that comes up, okay? And we're mirrors, so it's going to be both, okay? And it's the intimidation that led to the suspicion. In my dream, that's how I felt it went. It was like intimidation, suspicion, and then it was just block, okay? And then and I felt like, oh, he's gone. Okay, he wasn't there physically present. I didn't feel any more energetic, telepathic, or anything communication with him. And I had the thought, oh, I should just call him and tell him dinner's ready, you know. And so I was gonna go get my phone, and I something said, no, that you have something you need to deal with from this, and so does he. So that's the guidance I got. Some people might have, I've been guided in the past to contact my twin. So it all just depends on what you're guided to do. And that's the guidance that I got in my dream, was to just keep it as it is. The last contact I sent out, I believe, was November. And I haven't seen him in the physical since a year ago, September. So this September will be 2 years of seeing him actually in the physical. And the last I had phone text messaging angry, okay, that was the last contact he had with me when I told him off. But that was, I believe, it was shortly after I started my channel. I think it was, I want to say a J month, June, July. June, I think it was June, right after I started my channel, a month or two or something. So, so with these intimidation, suspicion, just remember how much you love yourself and how dynamic you are. That's how much you love your twin, and how you view them as just like a movie star, right? But we can't be idolizing, because then we're going to become intimidated and then resentful, suspicious, okay? Just know how awesome you are. And that's how your twin feels about you. And that's how you feel about your twin. And that's how your twin feels about themselves, okay? So, because we're the twins. So we need to be confident in knowing that we've been gifted certain things to. It's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it for ourselves and the collective You know, we've been gifted, you know, things from birth, and then as things come in, information to help people. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I don't know, you know, I think like that's a personal message to me, but also in the collective, there's people. So I don't know if God wanted me to share this with the collective or it's actually happening in my twin dynamic. Because I wasn't observing another pair of twins, I feel like, yes, it applies to my dynamic as well, obviously. So so I know this is a message for others out there too, and especially, like I said, if you're an older woman, your twin's younger male, there's a lot of templating and brainwashing and indoctrination and distortions that go along with that whole thing, and through, you know, Hollywood and all that supported all that distortion, okay? We've seen more of that than we've seen the other thing, so it's like, well, I've seen more of this all the time. This is pretty much all I've ever seen and known, so that must be what's true. Remember, truth is truth. Even if no one believes it, a lie is a lie, even if everyone believes it. So this is why you need to know your truth. Okay, universal truth, and then your own core truth, okay? All right, 21. We'll leave it at that. I love you guys. Yeah, if you have any questions specific to this dynamic, you can email me, and I'll do my best to help you, you know, as it applies to my own experience, and maybe you can get something from that. So, all right. I love you guys. Peace and blessings. Hang in there.